Hi there, it's Nicole from Mama Elephant, and today I have a scene card to share showcasing the brand new Otterly Adorable Stamps and Coordinating Dies. These are so cute and perfect for Valentine's themed cards or anytime themed cards. I think they're so super fun. I am pairing the Otterly Adorable stamped images with some of the Park Avenue frames. I did stamp my images here on some smooth white cardstock, and I'm coloring them in with Copic markers. The colors I'm using are shown across the top of the screen. I am using E40, 43, and 44 for my otters. I went ahead and colored a couple of them, and then I'll just finish them up here. Since they're all colored the same, I wanted to save a little bit of time in the video, but I'm starting with a nice base color of E40 for the lighter areas and then E43 for everything else, and kind of adding in a little E44 and then blending it out with the E43 and then the E40 as needed. And I can go over that as many times as I need to. I love this color combination. You probably notice I use it quite a bit for animals and things. It just works really well. If you want to pull in even a little bit darker, E47 or 49 would be a great color to add in as well. Once that's done, I am going to color in the little baby here that this one is holding. I want to keep the colors slightly lighter. I tried to keep it to E40 and E43. I also tried to add a little pink to the cheeks, and I decided I really didn't like that, so I went back over it with E43. But I needed to show a little bit of shadowing or something to that little baby otter because I felt like the lighter colors were too light. So I did add in just a tiny bit of E44 where he's laying right against the bigger one. Then I'm coloring in my hearts with R24 and R29, really simple coloring. I did all over R24, a little R29 around the edges, and then blending it all out. I'll use those same colors for the little heart on the seal on the envelope. And then I'm going in with some pink colors for my envelope with RV52, 55, and even a little RV09. These are some of my favorite pink colors. Once I have all of these images colored, I'm going to take the coordinating Otterly Adorable dies and use a little post-it tape to hold those in place and run those through my Big Shot die cutting machine. I will need to die cut the heart 3 times, so I try to get as many cuts with one pass as possible. I also have a background piece here for my card. It's slightly smaller than A2 sized. And I have die cut a frame from the Park Avenue die collection, both from some Bristol smooth cardstock. Then I am taking 2 of the dies from Otterly Adorable, they're the little wave dies, and I'm going to line them up on my background cardstock panel. Use a little post-it tape to hold those in place. I'm just going to pop my frame out of there now. I was using it as a guide, and I'll run these through my Big Shot as well. This is going to create some great little pockets to tuck some of my otters into. Now, I realized at this point I didn't exactly line up my dies straight with my background. Because a lot of that's going to be hidden, I think I can tip it enough behind my frame and you'll never know that they're not straight across. I'm going to use some post-it tape to mask off parts of this background panel while I add some Distress ink. I am coloring the top part with some squeezed lemonade Distress ink to look like the sun. And then I'm going to mask that off and add some Salty Ocean and Tumbled Glass Distress inks to the bottom. Blend those together. And I'm just going to keep adding some blue color until I get that background the way I want it to look. Make it a little darker where that little die cut wave is. Then I'm going to take my frame, lay it in place, and I'm going to kind of use the background as a guide to where I want to add my colors. So I'm going to color it very similar to the inside of the frame, so it's a seamless transition from the frame to the background of this design. I am not making this a shaker card, but this design could very easily be translated into a shaker if you wanted to. So the frame very much coordinates exactly with the background design. I'm going to spritz all of it with water from a distress sprayer. The distress ink is going to wick away and create some nice little light distressed areas. I'm going to blot all that dry with a paper towel. And then I've got all of my cute little images that I can start putting in place and building my background scene. I'm using some Zotz Bling glue dots to attach my otters. What I especially love about this stamp and die collection is that the otters on a couple of the images, the dies have little die cuts around the arms of the otters so that it appears that it can hold some of the other images from the stamp set. In this case, I'm going to have one of them holding that little letter with the heart, or that envelope with the heart. I can also add my additional hearts up in the sky is my plan. I like to kind of lay everything out. I want to make sure everything is still working the way I think it's going to, how it's going to look. This long thought bubble is actually from the Park Avenue die collection as well, and I thought it would work great with one of the greetings there. So I just need to kind of tip my background. Like I said, I did not get those die cut straight, so I want to make sure that I get it put on my card base as straight as possible, kind of disguise the fact that I didn't die cut that straight across. And I'm going to tuck my final otter along the bottom edge of the frame, just kind of peeking up there from the frame itself. I'm going to take a black gel pen and add detail to the eyes and noses of the otters. And then I am just going to double check and make sure I still like that. I decided kind of at this point, I popped one of the otters off, that I wanted to add some detail to the sky. I tried to do this ahead of time, but I didn't see it until I had already kind of started. But I took the sun rays from the Sunny Skies stamp set and stamped those with the squeezed lemonade ink, so tone on tone, to create that sun ray in the background. And then I went ahead and put my otter back in place. I've die cut a thought bubble from vellum, and I'm going to stamp the greeting with Versamark and then heat emboss with white embossing powder. I like the vellum. Originally, you can see I have a white cardstock thought bubble there. I thought I would stamp it in white, but a lot of times I like to be able to see some of my background through my greeting, but still have it muted a tiny bit, and that is what vellum is so great for. So I'm going to go ahead and disguise my adhesive back behind some of the embossed areas, as well as when I put the frame in place, it is going to hold it down. But I'm going to just go ahead and secure that right on the background. I can snip off any of that excess that's going to hide behind the frame. I can peel off my foam tape that I placed on the back of my frame as well, and then put that in place. I like the foam tape to give it just a tiny bit of dimension. This is where you could have also made it a shaker very easily. I'm going to adhere my hearts to my card as shown, and I'm going to put a little glossy accents on each of these to give them a little bit of a raised effect. I love how that looks, even on the little heart on the envelope. And then I'll finish with a scattering of Pretty Pink Posh sequins. I'm using the Lemon Drop, Lemon Meringue, Cobalt, and Cornflower Blue sequins, kind of matching the yellow with the yellow and the blue with the blue. Attaching all of these with some Zotz Bling glue dots. They're teeny tiny glue dots, perfect for attaching small little things like sequins. Thanks for joining me today for this Otterly Adorable card showcasing the Mama Elephant Otterly Adorable stamps and dies. The supplies I've used to create this card are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos showcasing Mama Elephant stamps and dies that you might be interested in. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.